Hey guys, so I have a question, and I don't want this coming off as like me to come off like as a fucking asshole. I'm just generally curious about this. Okay, so there is transgender people, which I have many friends that are actually transgender. Transgender, I understand. Like you feel like you're in the wrong body, and you transition to another body. Like you have body dysmorphia, or parts of your body, cause you pain. Like being a male to female, having breasts, and vice versa. Okay, that I understand. Then there's things like non-binary, genderqueer, and like gray gender, and like 5,000 other ones, which I cannot even get into. But we're gonna lump it all into the genderqueer, non-binary category. Okay. I really would love, and I'm not trying to say this with any hate whatsoever. Like, please don't think I'm trying to like talk shit. But I really would love to find someone who is genderqueer, who could actually explain to me what genderqueer means to them besides fashion or stereotypes. Because every time I seem to ask somebody this question, like being online, be it anything, or I'm just like, okay, well, what does genderqueer mean to you? It's always, well, one day I feel like I feel like a boy. One day I feel like a girl. And what does it mean to feel like a girl and feel like a boy? Because to me, that feels like that's 100% just fitting on stereotypes. Like, I feel like a boy because I like chucks and I like to wear snapbacks, but I feel like a girl because I like to wear dresses and makeup and, like pink or something. Like, no, why can't you just be a girl and like manly? Why does it have to be? Why do things have to be things that are not gendered have to be gendered? Why does liking trucks have to be a boy thing? Why does liking pink have to be a girl thing? Why can't you be a man who likes to wear a fucking dress? Why does it have to be a label? Like, what does genderqueer actually mean? For example, my wife, we always have the conversation because I'm just like, to me, you're what, the world will consider genderqueer. And a lot of people ask, like, does she go by they, them, is she genderqueer? And I'm like, no, she's Shannon. Like, she's Shannon. But Shannon likes boy things, like boy things. She likes cars and that kind of stuff. She likes to sit on the porch and drink beer with the guys and hang out and that kind of stuff. And she also likes, girly movies like fucking Bridget Jones' Diary and that kind of stuff. That doesn't change her gender. That just means what she likes. If we stop worrying about so much of stereotypes, then maybe we wouldn't have to worry about labeling everything. You know what I mean? I grew up in an era where labeling was lame. Like, you didn't want to fucking label. It's not, everyone feels like I am a lesbian, demigod, genderqueer, transgender. Like, what? No, just be yourself. Like, you don't have to fit into a box. Like, it feels like people, like, they just need a box to fit into so they have this kind of identity. And it's like, your identity needs to be who you are, not like that. You know what I mean? Like, I've always, thought, like, being a lesbian was nothing. Like, to me, like, being, not straight, because I'm not even a lesbian. Like, being not straight is not everything I am. You know what I mean? You'll never see me being like, yeah, gay pride. No. Of course, you should be proud of who you are. You should never hate who you are. But since I did nothing to like girls, I'm not gonna walk around being like proud. It would same thing. It would be like me having white pride. I did nothing to become white. Why the fuck am I proud of it? It doesn't make any sense. And like, I do 100% understand trans people, but I almost feel like when there's people that, it makes me feel like you can choose your gender. Like when people say like, today I feel like a boy and the next day I feel like a girl, it makes me feel like you are making people who are actually transgendered, who have to fight and, deal with hating their body. It makes them feel like their struggle is nothing. And that's got to be really hurtful for people that have really fucking struggled, So I would love for someone to explain genderqueer to me and not use fashion or stereotypes. Like, how does one feel like a boy? How does one feel like a girl? I understand, like, feeling like a boy all the time, like feeling manly, feeling masculine, because male and female brains are different. But saying that, like, one day you feel like a girl, one day you feel like a boy, and the only thing you ever have to use as an excuse or a reasoning for that is stereotypes. Like, I like to wear dresses, but I also like to wear combat boots. And that's a fashion statement, sweetie. That's not a gender identity, So I'm not meaning this by any hate at all. I'm just really curious because I almost feel like when people pick so many labels for themselves that it almost dilutes the really important part, which is like loving yourself for who you are and not having to worry about what box you fit into. Like, that's why I don't even like to label myself, like, with my sexuality. Like, I like whoever I like. If you happen to have a dick, cool. If you happen to have a vagina, cool. But I'm not everybody, Like, there's people who don't, can't be attracted to the same sex or vice versa, So it's almost like, why do we worry so much about labels when we can just if we break those stereotypes down, if we break down the stereotypes of what male has to be and what female has to be and vice versa, like, then we wouldn't have to worry about, like, explaining yourself, you know? And, like, as for the pronoun thing, I know people get shit a lot for, like, the they, them pronouns. But I understand why they do, because if I look at you, this is what people do. If I look at you and you look masculine, I'm going to call you he. If you look feminine, I'm going to call you she. If I'm not sure because you're a little, you know, you don't fit the stereotypes, then I'm going to be like, so what gender are you? Or I'm going to call you they then, because I'm not really sure. Now, if I ever called somebody, you know, he or she, and they went by a different pronoun, of course I would change it. But being mad at someone because they don't know your pronouns when you present yourself as a female, like if I went by they, them, and someone called me she, I would have no right to be offended, because how are people supposed to know what's inside my head? You know, that's what I never understand. Like, and that's why people get so mad, because you get so angry. And it's like, I understand. I do understand if you are transgender because you have body dysmorphia. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm out of line. It wouldn't be the first time. But I feel like if you don't have body dysmorphia, how are you trans? Isn't that what transgendered is? Like, having body dysmorphia, not, you know, feeling like you're comfortable in your own body, like you're in the wrong body. So if you don't have body dysmorphia, what are you doing? Is it just a fashion statement? It's just a fashion statement trying to make it into an actual movement and trying to force others to believe in you. Is just making people who are transgender, who've had to fight their whole life to be who they are, it makes their struggle look like it's nothing. Like it's just waking up one day and putting on a pair of fucking pants versus a dress. And that is not what it is. I've seen friends of mine who have struggled since they were fucking born to be able to be accepted into society and be able to be loved for who they are and to pay for surgery. And then it's like, hey, it's nothing. I'm just going to wear a dress today because this is how I feel. Like, I just don't understand it. So, hey, if you go by non-binary or genderqueer, I would love a comment of explaining why you feel that way without using stereotypes. Bye.